Hi everybody. Today we are going to be again working in our yellow GED preparation book, 2014 book. Today we are doing lessons 5 and 6, which begin on page 419. So lesson 5 on page 419 is about solving multi-step word problems. The HiSET exam will be primarily word problems. There aren't a whole lot of just straightforward equations. They want you to show that you can use practical knowledge to solve real-world examples of problems. So on page 419, get this open here. So our first question up at the top, example 1, has a little table with an employee, an hourly wage, and the hours worked. Figuring out wages is a very common way for most of us to do math to figure out how much our paycheck is going to be. But to do that, we have to work in a couple of steps. So on example 1, it says, how much did Dylan Sudduth earn for the week? So we have our chart, we have the names there and how much the employees make per hour, and then how many hours they worked each day. So to solve this, we're going to have to figure out a couple things. First, we're going to have to figure out how many total hours Dylan worked, and we will do that by adding up all of those hours at the top of the page, where we have 8 on Monday, 7 on Tuesday, 8 on Wednesday, 8 on Thursday, and 6 on Friday. If we add up all of those numbers, try to make a better 8 there. Okay, 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 8 plus 6. Okay, when we add all of those up, we are going to end up with 37 total hours that Dylan worked. Then we will take that 37 times the $8 he makes per hour to get $296. So rarely on the HiSET exam, or anywhere actually, is something going to be as simple as you just add something up or you just subtract something. There's usually a couple of steps involved to figure out what we need to know. So you'll have to take the information given to you in the question and figure out how to use that to get what you need. So in example 2, which still refers to that table at the top, we have Sharon Bartok set a goal of earning $342 per week. How many hours would she have to work this week to reach her goal? How many more hours? So again, we're going to have to look at our chart and we'll see how many hours she's already worked. We are going to have to figure out how much she makes per hour. There are many different steps involved here. So the first way to solve this, we want to take how much she wants to earn, which is that $342. We know that Sharon makes $9 an hour. So if we take the total amount she wants to make divided by how much she makes per hour, we will get how many hours she needs to work, which is 38. Now that we know that, we can take how many hours she's already worked, which we're going to have to add all those up. So we have 7 on Monday, 5 on Tuesday, 6 on Wednesday, 5 on Thursday, and 5 on Friday. So if we add all of those up, we will find out that she worked 28 hours. Then we can take the 38 we know she needs to work, subtract the 28 that she has worked. 38 minus 28 gives us 10 more hours that she needs to work to make that much money. Okay, on page 420, we have some more questions that are asking you to break them into steps to come up with the right answer. The first well, the first one question, but it has 4 parts, is based on this table at the top about diaper size and quantities in a box. And then we have a couple of 2-part questions. So please pause this video and work those questions on your own, and then we will come back and go over them. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you've had a few minutes to work out the answers. So on page 420, we have our table at the top of the page about South Bay Preschool ordering disposable diapers. So our question 1 says we need to find out how many more medium diapers were ordered than extra large diapers. How many more? That means we have to subtract. But before we can subtract, we have to figure out what we're subtracting from what. So this question breaks it down into steps for you. So in part A, how could you find how many medium diapers were ordered? So when we look at our chart, we see there were 15 boxes of mediums and there are 66 diapers in a box. To figure out how many total there are, we will multiply 66 times 15. So the answer to part A is option C. Then on option B, how could you find how many extra large diapers were ordered? Well, extra large, we have 24 boxes with 24 in a box. So we will take 24 times 24 to figure out how many total diapers there are. When we compare the numbers, when we are comparing numbers, that typically means subtraction. So if we do those to find the answer for part D, if we multiply 66 times 15 for medium diapers, 66 times 15 will give us 990 medium diapers. Okay, so if we actually do the math on part B, where we want to figure out extra large diapers, we'll take 24 times 24, and that is going to give us 576 extra large diapers. Okay, now that we have the total amounts, we already determined on part C that to compare them, we are going to subtract. So 990 minus 576 is going to give us 414. 414 more medium diapers than extra large diapers, which is option C on number 1, part D. Okay, on question number 2, erase all of those. We see Appliance City is advertising a 27-inch television set for $650 cash or $58 per month for 12 months on credit. Part A says, what operations would you need to perform to find out how much a customer would save by paying cash instead of buying on credit? So to figure that out, we will need to figure out how much it would cost if we did the option where we paid $58 a month times 12 months. Remember, we're repeating the same amount repeatedly, we multiply. 58 times 12 is going to give us $696. Then to figure out the difference, we will take that amount minus the $650 if we paid cash up front, which gives us a difference of $46. So on option A, what operations will we need to perform? Well, first we multiplied right here. Then we subtracted. So we did multiplication and then subtraction, which is answer D. And we got our answer, find the amount of savings on part B, $46. Okay, and then finally, question number 3. Felicia and Jay Oser buy a new refrigerator. They must make 8 payments of $115 and 1 final payment of $162. Part A says, what operations would you need to perform to find the total amount the Osers will spend on the refrigerator? Again, we are paying $115 for 8 months. So 115 times 8, because we're repeating that, is going to give us $920. Then they have to make one final payment of 162. So we've already paid that. Then we are adding one more payment. So we are first multiplying, then we are adding. So our answer is C, multiplication and then addition. Find the total amount spent. We will add those together. $1,082. Okay. Hopefully everybody followed that okay. As I mentioned, rarely is it going to be just do one thing and get the answer. Most problems on the HiSET and in life for that matter require you to do multiple steps. Okay, lesson 6 on page 421 is about setting up problems. So oftentimes on the HiSET, we're not actually asked to come up with the answer. We are only asked to let them know how we would come up with the answer. So example 1, Grace charges $15 for a haircut and $45 for a permanent. If she does 10 haircuts and 3 permanents on Tuesday, how much will she earn that day? So when we look at that, what do we know? We know she charges $15 for a haircut. We also know she charges $45 for a permanent. We know that on Tuesday she does 10 haircuts, which means this price, this $15, will be repeated multiple times. So we are going to multiply that times 10. We know she did 3 permanents. So again, this price here of $45 will be multiplied, repeated 3 times over. Then we will want to add those together. So what we will do is set those off by parentheses. If you remember back to our order of operations from the last lesson, stuff that we want done first needs to be set off in parentheses. So first, we want to figure out how much she made from haircuts, which is this section right here, how much she made from permanents, and we're going to add them together. So we are looking at answer C. So for example number 2, we have Eli and 3 friends met for lunch. The cost of the meal was $20 plus they left a tip of $4. If they split the cost of lunch evenly, how much did each friend pay? Okay, what do we know? We know the meal was $20. We also know that they left a tip of $4. So we are going to want to find the total cost, which means we will add. That word total tells us we're going to add. And how much did they each pay? We're splitting it evenly. That means we're dividing. Whenever we're splitting something evenly, we are dividing. So we have Eli and 3 friends. So that is 4 of them. So we're going to divide the total cost by 4. So we will want option D. And again, on option D, they set it off in parentheses to let us know that we're doing that first. We're going to take the $20 plus the $4 and divide it by 4. Okay, on page 422, there are again some practice questions for you to do on your own. So please pause this video and then come back and we will go over those 7 questions. Okay, welcome back everybody. So question number 1 on page 422. Marcus bought 4 water bottles for $1.25 each and 5 granola bars for $1.15 each after swim practice 1 week. Write an expression that would give the total amount he spent that week. So our little table there just gives us options of what we can use to fill in our blanks. So in one set of parentheses, we have a 4, and then we have a couple of blanks there. So we know that one blank is going to be our symbol for our operation, and another one is going to be an amount. So we know the 4 is how many water bottles he bought, and those water bottles cost $1.25 each. Because we're repeating the same thing, we are multiplying. So that is going to be a multiplication symbol. And we have another blank, and then we have another set of parentheses with our 5, another blank, and then our parentheses. So here again, we have our 5. The 5 things he bought were the granola bars, $1.15. So the cost of the granola bars will go here. We are repeating that cost 5 times, so we multiply. And to find out how much in total he spent, we're going to want to add those amounts together. Okay, question number 2. We have West Freight held an awards banquet for its 65 employees. The company paid $350 for the use of a banquet room and $9 per person for food. Which expression shows how much the company paid for the room and the food? So what do we know? We know we have 65 total employees. We know that they're paying $350 for the use of the room. And we know that they're paying $9 per person for food. So we have our 65 employees. Now the cost of the room doesn't change no matter how many people in there, but the cost of the food is based on how many people are eating. So we're going to have to take this 65 times the cost per person. Okay, so we know that 65 has to be times 9, and we're going to want that to be separated from everything else. Okay, then we're going to want to add on the total cost of the room to figure out how much the banquet will cost. So we'll take 65 times 9 plus the $350, which is option D. Question number 3, we have David can drive 300 miles on 1 tank of gas. Which expression shows how many tanks of gas he will need to drive 1,200 miles? Okay, we know he can do 300 on 1 tank of gas. We know he needs to go 1,200, or is trying to figure out how many tanks of gas it will take him to go that many. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to, we know it's always 300. We want to take this and break it up into equal parts. Taking something and breaking it up into equal parts means division. So we'll take 1,200 divided by the 300 miles he gets, which is option D. Okay, question number 4. A parking garage has spaces for 70 cars and charges each driver $6 per day for parking. If all of the spaces are full, which expression shows how much more the garage owner could make if he charged $8 per day? So what do we know? We know that there's room for 70 total cars. We know that he currently charges $6 per day, and we want to know how much more he could make if he charged $8 per day. How much more means subtraction. So we're going to want to find out the difference between this amount and this amount. The number of cars isn't going to change. If it's full, it's always going to be 70. What would change is the cost. So the difference would be the difference between the $8 and the $6 times how many cars would be parked there. So we want to make sure we have the 8 minus the 6 times the 70. So that is option C. And because it's set off in parentheses, it really doesn't matter if the 70 comes first or the 8 minus 6 comes first, because with our order of operations, what's in parentheses we will always do first. So even though option C is written 70 times 8 minus 6, you're going to get the same answer with this one as you are with this one, because it doesn't matter which one is written first from left to right in the equation. What matters is what's in parentheses. Okay, question number 5. Janet has worked out a payment schedule to pay off a $1,800 debt. The schedule calls for her to pay $300 the first month and $150 per month after that. Which expression shows how many $150 payments it will take for Janet to pay off the debt? Okay, what do we know? We know that her total debt is $1,800. Okay, we know that first month she is going to pay $300. So that will be subtracting $300 from her total debt. Then what is left will be broken up into equal monthly payments. Breaking something up into equal amounts means division. So after we subtract the 300, which means we'll be doing this first, so set it off in parentheses, whatever our answer is will be divided by $150. So that is option A. Question number 6. Arturo had $150 to spend on his college books. He bought 2 textbooks costing $35 each and 3 textbooks for $18 each. Which expression shows how much money he had left after his purchase? Okay, we know he started with $150. And we're wanting to know how much he had left. So that means we're going to be subtracting what he spent. Okay, we know he bought 2 books that cost $35 each. So we're repeating that $35 twice. So that's multiplying. Because of our order of operations, we want to make sure that this thing is combined together. We have to keep that 2 times the 35 together. Then we're also subtracting how much he spent on the other books. So he bought 3 textbooks at $18 each. So we'll repeat that multiple times. So we multiply. And we also want to make sure this stays together. So we will also put that in parentheses. So our correct answer is option B. We'll take 150 minus the 2 times 35 minus the 3 times 18. Okay, finally, question number 7. Teresa sold 2 cameras for $175 each and 3 cameras for $150 each. If she earns a $35 commission for each sale, which expression shows how much she earned in commissions? Okay, this one is kind of tricky because it gives us some extra information that we really don't need. So we know that she sold 2 cameras that were $175 each. We know that she sold 3 cameras that are $150 each. Okay. We also know that she makes a $35 commission for each sale. Now, her commission, that's all it's asking about. It wants to know how much she earned in commission. Her commission, it doesn't matter how much the camera cost. She gets paid for how many things she sold, not how much they cost. So really, we don't need to know how much those cameras cost. We need to know how much she earned. So we need to take the 2 sales, the 2 different types of sales. So we have 2 sales plus 3 sales to get the total number of sales times how much her commission is. So that one's a little bit tricky because it throws in these extra numbers that we actually don't need to solve this particular problem. If it had asked us how much total merchandise she sold, then we would have to multiply these and add them together, but that's not what it asked. It asked about her commission, and therefore how much the cameras cost doesn't matter for this particular question. So our answer is D. We take the 2 plus the 3 times the 35. Okay, thanks everybody for tuning in. In our next lesson, we will start to talk about one of everybody's favorite topics, fractions. So I will see you next time.